chance to talk. Happened so fast, went from so lonely to falling asleep in your arms. I used to be afraid to fall in love. My past relationship.
How are you all doing? Warm welcome back to country. Sorry about my appearance. Oh, it's been a very tough week and a half. How all things change in just a flick of a switch. It just shows you how careful you've got to be in life, guys, and look after yourselves, look after your health, get to know all the signals and everything. I will be doing, as I said before, I'm a right mess. I need my hair cut, I need a shave. Excuse me. Yeah, so it's just another update on the situation. As you can see, I'm back in Christine. I'm back in Christine. I've still not got Sky. There's been one or two problems. As per usual, you know, I get over one hurdle and there's another big body hurdle right in front of me. Absolutely bonkers. You couldn't bloody write this, folks. You couldn't, for your support. You know, I'm going through tough times. A lot of people go through tough times, I know, but I do suffer with anxiety and having all this piling just when I was just, you know, we was getting on so well on the Isle of Mull. Everything was going smooth, sweetly, no problems with the van. Cracking along beautiful. For the first time in a winter run, in a winter series, we had no problems. Then boom, a big lightning strike come down and struck me down. With this big heart attack that I had. Oh dear. But yeah, we're getting these hurdles to jump, these massive problems in life. But guys, the outshot is what I receive back from you guys well overwhelms anything that I go through. It really does, and all the kindness and support. It just knocks everything into significance, knocks everything back that's happened to me, and I get over it. Which is your support has been unbelievable. I can't imagine the support. You know, I've not got that many subscribers, but the amount of support I've had over this situation over the last few weeks has been unbelievable. You've touched my heart. You really have touched my heart to the point of tears sometimes. Anyway, just a quick, I don't want to go on to, you've probably had enough of all this bloody doom and bloody gloom on the channel. I don't like to put doom and gloom on my channel, but so many people are asking how I'm doing, how's Sky, how am I getting on, how did we get on at the hospital. Update for you. As you can see, I'm back in Christine. Update at the hospital, we had the second operation on the night, and in the morning it was time to kick me out basically. Blimey. I was on my back for a week. I had no therapy for walking. If I just walked you know, a few feet to the toilet when I was in the hospital, I was getting giddy, even after the operations. But the morning came, was discharged, and they was going to discharge me, gave me all my pills. Blimey, I've got to take 10 pills every day, 10 for the first 2 weeks, then after 2 weeks it's 8 every day for the rest of my life. It's going to keep me alive, isn't it? It's going to keep me alive. It's got to be done. It really got to be done. But it's changed things, hasn't it? It really has changed things, because, you know, my hashtag freedom, that's gone out the window a bit now, because I'm tied down to pharmacies and doctors and getting tablets and prescriptions and not travelling too far. Plus I won't be able to do half the things that I did before. I know that. I know I won't be able to do as extreme circumstances as I did before, climbing mountains for bloody 6-7 miles and jumping into ice lock bloody locks and burns every morning. That's not on the cards no more. But I will have, people do carry on with life after the stem operations to the heart, and people do manage to carry on with a normal life even though you're restricted a little bit. So that's going to change the way things are done. I'm an out and out explorer kind of thing, adventurer. But we'll see how we get on, in a few weeks or a few months' time, I may feel on top of the world. Some people do, after all they've gone through with these operations. May feel back on top of the world again, I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, in the hospital. Now, do you want to listen to a story? Who is it said that? Was it Max Bygraves? Do you want to tell me a story? Something like that anyway, I don't know. Anyway, do you want to listen to another drama, another story in the bloody epilogue that's gone on with my heart attack? On the day of discharge and discharge papers and releasing me from the hospital in Glasgow this is, don't forget, we're 250, is it 300 miles away from Mull. Various trains, buses, ferries you've got to get back. It was always said during the weeks that I was on in the hospital by all the senior nurses and all the senior doctors that they would see me back to the island, no problem at all. They'll get me back safe and sound and all that after the operation. But apparently, come the day of my discharge, the head nurses, this is not the fault of the nurses or the doctors or the surgeons, it's bureaucracy. Unfortunately, bureaucracy kicked in and kicked me in the arse big time, because the nurses says when we discharge you, we cannot provide any transport or any form or means to get you back from where we extracted you from, the Isle of Mull, 250 miles away, whatever. I looked at the nurses and the doctor, says, so I've just got to make my own way from here. And so they said, well, yeah, basically. I said, well, why? I don't understand why. It's just happened all of a sudden. And they said they got in touch with the transport department in the hospital. This is NHS Scotland, don't forget. They got in touch with the transport department. They come back to them and they said they cannot. It's not policy to help non-residents of Scotland. Because I'm English, I was void of any help at all, and because I wasn't registered to a doctor or anything in Scotland, I wasn't entitled to help to get me back home. I was bloody shocked. I was absolutely bloody shocked. I thought, come on, Stephen, we can get through this one. Now I've got to try and plan my way back home, coming out of the hospital. And that turned into an absolute nightmare, folks, honestly. I was no more than 10 minutes out of the hospital. It was freezing cold. It started to bloody rain hard. Any clothes, I just had a coat and the clothes that I was picked up from in the emergency and the helicopter. I had hardly any clothes or anything. Just a coat. And my big bag of tablets in a hospital clothes bag, walking down the street like a bloody tramp in a cold and bloody wind. It was absolutely freezing, and with 10-20 minutes of walking out of the hospital towards the train station, I already felt giddy. I felt like I was going to fall over and go down. I was really struggling, really struggling. Anyway, I managed to get to the train station. You had to get from Glasgow to Dumbarton Central. I went from Glasgow to Dumbarton Central, okay. Got to Dumbarton Central. I says to the guys, where do I get the train to Oban, which is where I get the ferry to Mull. That's about a three-hour trip on the train. He said, go over to the other side, the other platform, platform 2, catch the next train that comes in, that will take you to Oban. I paid. Okay, this is all up. You know, it's all expense that I can't afford, guys. It really is. But so I've had to pay. I think the train ticket was 40 quid, and bits and bops and buses and whatever. Anyway, I went over to the other platform. The train come in, as the chap says. I jumped on the train and chuff, 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 chuff. Away we went. For about 25 minutes I sat on the train, and the conductor came down the train. This is getting quite late in the afternoon now. The conductor came down the train, tickets like, showed him his ticket. He says, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Oban. He says, not on this train. He says, this is not the Oban train. He says, the Oban train was after this train. I says, but the chap at the station told me to get the next train. He says, no, this is not the Oban train. He says, you'll have to go on this train for a few more miles down the track, get off at the remote station further up, get off the train there, wait for another train to take you back to Dumbarton Central. Anyway, I got off the train at this outpost bloody train station, God knows where it was. Got off the wrong train that I was on. The train when I was in this platform in the middle of nowhere. There's only a bench in the station, that was it. It was bloody freezing cold and raining again, and I was just at my bloody wit's end. Now I had to wait for the train to come back the other way to take me back to Dumbarton Central. Eventually I got on that train, got back to Dumbarton Central, went to the ticket office. I says, someone told me the train, bloody, he said, oh no, they must have made a mistake. I said, when's the next train to Oban from Dumbarton Central? He said, it's in about 2 hours time. So I had another 2 hours to wait in the bloody cold. But the train master said, just go down the road there, you might find there's a shopping centre about a mile down the road. So again, I had to walk, feeling absolutely exhausted, totally exhausted, guys. You don't know how exhausted. Don't forget, I've been on my back for a week. I've had no therapy, no walking or nothing. The operation was only a few hours earlier, the second operation. Anyway, I walked through and I was really struggling, and I found a pub. I went into the pub, I sat down, I sat more or less on top of the radiator, getting myself warm, had a coffee and sat there. Just sat in the pub for 2 hours waiting for this train to come. And then go back to Dumbarton Central Station, walk back to Dumbarton Central Station. In the interim, when I was walking and I was really struggling, my daughter was phoning me and said, how you doing, Dad? Are you on your way yet? Are you at the hospital? And I told them what had happened. They discharged me with no help or assistance whatsoever. I mean, even if they, you know, got me to where they picked me up from, then billed, because I'm English, they said it's because you're English, we cannot help you because you're English and you're not registered. Is that not bloody discrimination? I don't know. My daughters were fuming. And once the family knew, they was all phoning me and said, what, they cannot do this to you, Steve. My God, it was absolutely I've never known anything like it in all my bleeding life. You know, when I was with the doctors and they told me this, I said, well, why can't you bill NHS England, because this is NHS Scotland. I said, why can't you bill NHS England to get me back to Mull? They said, we can't do that either. Oh my God. Anyway, the family were absolutely, and my daughters were in tears apparently. My daughters and my sisters were in tears, knowing that I was walking the bloody streets after this bloody operation for hours, trying to find my way back 250 fecking miles from where they picked me up from. Anyway, I sat in this pub, a coffee, made it last for 2 hours, went back to the station, and I eventually got on the right train to Oban, where the ferry is. That was about a 3-hour trip, I can't remember now. But that was a long journey. But at least I was warm, comfortable, and sitting down in the train. I got to Oban, only to realise and find out that the last ferry to Mull had gone. The last ferry had gone for that day. Well, battery's going bloody low now. I'll have to crack on with this. So anyway, let's try and cut this short for you guys. The last ferry to Oban had gone. I thought, oh my fucking God, what am I going to do? Line the bloody bush shelter and bloody die before anybody takes any notice what's going on? You gotta laugh or you gotta bleeding cry. Anyway, I looked online for the cheapest hotel in the area, and the hotels are quite expensive, as you realise, in Oban and these holiday resorts, these port places. I found a hotel and they wanted, I think it was £50 or £60 a bleeding night for no breakfast. More fucking expense, jeez. I just spent 50 quid on the bleeding train, whatever it was. So I had to bite the bullet, use my bloody month's bloody budget to do this. Bite the bullet and go into this bloody hotel. And what a fucking hotel. I was done it through an app site to buy it in cheap hotel like, and I found the hotel in Oban eventually. This time now I was absolutely knackered. It's 5-6 hours later now, guys, and I am truly on the edge of bloody collapsing. You know, I don't want to dramatise it that much, but it was bad. At various points throughout this journey I felt like phoning 111 and said, come and get me back in. I've had enough of this. Anyway, I got into this bleeding hotel, went in, got my key, signed in, went into the room, and what a fucking shithole. It was like a big Victorian hotel. What a fucking shithole this bloody bedroom was. There's paint peeling off those walls, there's damp all around the bloody radiators, damp in the bloody shower. I mean, it was clean, and the bed and all the linen and all that was good. It was spotlessly clean, but it was alright if they, you know, like a Victorian hotel had been touched in 25 years. And the telly didn't work either. I thought, my God. I went down to reception. I said, look, the telly's not working, blah, 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 what's going on? And they apologised, and they put me into another room, which, to be honest, was a spanking room, an absolute one of their top rooms, and they charged me the same price, 50 or 60 quid, I don't know what it was now. My head is just bloody mushy fucking poos on this, like. Anyway, I managed to settle down in this new room. It's a lovely room it was, actually. Well done to them for changing the room. But that first room was disgraceful. Anyway, I settled down, had a sandwich that I bought, half a sandwich that I bought on the bloody train. Had that for my supper, went to bed, watched a bit of telly, and I had a good night's sleep. Had to be at the hotel at 10 o'clock in the morning. I looked at the ferry times, there's one at 12 o'clock. I went down to Wetherspoons, and oh my, that was the best experience in my fucking life. I sat right by the log fire at Wetherspoons, had a big bloody breakfast, jam and toast, and you know, you get endless coffees and everything. Cost me bloody 8 quid. Bloody hell, Wetherspoons, I miss Wetherspoons so much. And that was the most pleasurable hour that I'd had in such a long time. This lovely log fire right beside me, eating my food, waiting. Eventually I got on the ferry, another hour run across on the foot ferry back to the Isle of Mull, back to Craignure, which is where we are now, in Christine, in Craignure, the ferry port. And the story's not finished yet. Let's carry on. Went to the hospital where I was airlifted from, went to the reception. I signed in with the doctors there for a temporary residency for my pills over the next few months that I'm here. I got the keys to my Christine, to the RV, came outside, turned the ignition, and there was not a single light coming on. God give me strength. Nothing at all. You know, in all my haste, you know, obviously I was in sheer panic trying to get to the hospital last week when the heart attack happened. I parked outside the hospital. I went straight into the hospital. They took me straight down to their examination room, and I must have left something on, or they had lights on, or something running in the van, and obviously that's run for a week and just took everything out. So again, came out the hospital, I was in the cold yet again. This is quite late in the afternoon now. This is what, 24 hours after leaving the hospital. 24 hours pilgrimage it took me to get back on my own. And I sat there, I didn't know what to do. I was hoping someone would come by. The ambulance driver that actually picked me up in the emergency came by. He says, "Hello Steve," he said, "You're all right after your operation?" I said, "Mate, you wouldn't believe what's going on." I said, "I can't start my van." He says, I've got a patient on board. When I come back in about an hour or so time, I'll give you a jump start." And it was lovely. So the NHS staff are amazing. This is nothing to do with them at all. It's all bureaucracy why they wouldn't bring me home. Anyway, he went on his way and someone else pulled up in front. He says, "Do you need any help?" I said, "Well, if you can give me a jump start, that'd be brilliant." We've done a jump start and it started with a jump start. Eventually we got it going. I said, "Thank you very much." And I went on my way, went down to Craignure to fill up with petrol, get some food, ready to settle down, recuperate for a month or so, just don't move because I can't drive. I'm not supposed to drive after this operation for over a month legally. Oh, sorry about that, my memory went full. I've had to clear some of the cache on my memory. I don't know where I am with my media files, so they're all up in the air at the moment, so I'll have to clean all those up. I've got some videos that I've already produced before all this happened to come up, so I may do those in the next week or so, a few weeks, I don't know. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, we got it started. I went to got my supplies, got my fuel, went into the van to get to a wild camp that I know up the road where I could settle down for a bit, and turn the key, nothing, absolutely nothing again. Even with the driving that I did from the hospital to get my supplies and everything, it didn't charge the engine, so the alternators wasn't working. It wasn't putting 5 volts into the engine on. I thought, oh Jesus Christ, this is all I bleeding need now. Anyway, the guys there, they were so helpful. They gave me jump starts and everything, and they knew the place. Everybody knows everybody on the island, and they all know me now. They all said, "You're the guy that was airlifted off the island." Everywhere I go, everybody knows me now. And the girls in the shop here at Craignure, they got in touch with the garage up the road here, and I said, "Well, yeah, I'll park up and I'll go to the garage tomorrow." They said they'll see me tomorrow, which is amazing. See me on the same day at the garage and try and sort it out for me. But when I was parked up, I left the engine running. After we got it started, left the engine running for a couple of hours in this park up I was at, and it must have got some juice back into the engine because the next morning it started fine. I went to the garage on the following day. I said, "Guys, it's all right at the moment," because the garage is only behind me here, the shop and the ferry's only there. And believe it or not, yeah, I said to the garage we're fine, but if I need any issue I'll come back to you. Yeah, we've got it going at the moment. And believe it or not, folks, for the first time in my life as a van lifer, I am in an RV site, a campsite. I'll tell you more about that on the next video. It's more expense. Fucking hell. Oh, this is costing them bleeding an arm and a leg, this lot is. So I ain't going to move. I'm not going to move for at least 5, 6, maybe 7 weeks. And totally recuperate. I haven't got Sky either. Sky's coming back to me tomorrow. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that girl. I've missed that girl so very much. She's just cheering me up when I'm feeling down as well. So, but something very special has happened. Something very special has happened in the last few hours. It's again, kindness of people. So I'm going to leave that there. Keep watching the next video and I'll update you on the special news. And hopefully all this will be gone. I'll be nice and tidy. I'll have a shower, get myself sorted and get ready to do absolutely nothing for the next 4, 5, 6 weeks. Get my body right, get my strength back and start hopefully to get my mojo back and feel good about life again. But I've got to be grateful, haven't I? I'm alive. I have really got to be grateful for that I'm alive. But every big down I get, there's a massive boost from a big high from the love and the hugs that I get from you flipping lot. It's flipping amazing, absolutely amazing. Anyway, I'll leave it there. That's an update, guys. That's disgraceful, isn't it, the way they're treating me? The bureaucrats, nothing to do with the nurses, the doctors, the senior surgeons. They was all pissed off about what happened. And as I was being whirled out the hospital, the nurses were waving to me and giving me a hug. I was literally in tears after everything they'd done for me. Such wonderful people. Absolutely wonderful. Anyway, I'm going to go now before I start crying. Watch the next video, guys. Something's a bit special on the next one from Stephen. And hopefully Sky on the next one. Catch you later. Bye, mate.